We had waves out here that were 12 foot or better.
A monster cold front just blew through, and the fish have scattered.
The screen is empty. It's ghost town.
Lake Michigan is churned up, and the fish have shut down.
Smallmouth and mud don't mix.
It's cold, and we're miserable.
Your hands are numb, they're stingy.
But we work hard and eventually find monster smallmouth.
Get him in here, yeah! Yeah!
But just when we're about to have success, an evil predator cuts my line.
Oh, no!
This is City Limits Fishing, Chicago.
This fish is kicking my butt. That is awesome.
We sent a champion angler to some great cities on a mission.
Philadelphia! That's Washington, D.C. A stone's throw away. Chicago River, within the city limits, and that's my limit!
This is City Limits Fishing.
Chicago is the city that works, but these hardworking people know how to play. And one of their favorite playgrounds is the lake. Lake Michigan is one of 5 Great Lakes. Chicago is the largest city on the lake.
I actually fished my second Bassmaster Classic here in 2000.
We launch at Burnham Harbor with the Chicago skyline in the background.
So what's really cool is I'm getting to come back here years later, looking at many of the same places I fished in 2000.
We have the smallmouth bass, largemouth bass naturally.
John Millio is a Chicago cop I met here a few years ago at a sports show.
Area is the salmon fishing.
John sat in for one of the seminars, and we kind of exchanged information.
I said, you know what, Mike, if you're ever in the city, you need anything, give me a call.
He's an urban fisherman. Tell me a little bit about the wind and what it did the last couple days out here.
We had waves 8 to 9 feet out here, gusts up to 30, 35 miles an hour.
The clock is counting down as we idle out of the harbor. Our City Limits challenge is to catch a legal limit of 5 bass each in 6 hours within the Chicago city limits.
Boy, I hope we can catch some fish, because the lake has really been torn up from the weather we've had in the last few days.
You know, you add a bluebird day, very little wind, post-frontal, and you add that to 44-degree water temperature, it's going to be a tough day.
Lake Michigan has big smallmouth. The Chicago River has a lot of largemouth. We decide to fish the lake first, but if the wind churned up the water, fishing will be tough.
Starting this corner here?
Yeah, you can start in that corner there and...
So we pull in between the break wall, and I look, and the water's churned up. So I'm like, oh God, what are we gonna do?
You're waiting for a bite. That first bite is going to point us in a direction. And once we get that first clue, you know, we're going to be able to start to put this puzzle together. Chicago in November, who'd have thought?
Yeah, this weather's pretty good today.
We fish the seawall, working the depths from top to bottom without a bite. In front of the Field Museum of Natural History is a wall that serves as a great urban structure.
Perfect kind of cover that these fish will get around.
The clock is ticking, and we're not getting any bites. Even the graph is empty, but the view is amazing.
You see Sears Tower, you see the Standard Oil building, you see the John Hancock building. All that's right in the background.
The water is way too stained, so we leave. We head north past the Chicago River and east of Navy Pier. We're looking for clear water and great structure. We hope to find it at this breakwall and the Coast Guard lighthouse.
I want to fish the lighthouse because it has humongous rocks the size of Volkswagens.
One of the things they feed on out here is they've got an exotic species in here called a goby. And gobies are a bottom feeder. A lot of them are 2 or 3 inches long and have that olive color to them. So that thing imitates a goby pretty good.
The rocks are great structure, but they also cause us to break off.
You know, it's one thing if you're catching fish and breaking off. It's another thing when you're breaking off, you're not catching fish.
It's gonna happen a lot.
We're not getting any fish.
The screen is empty. It's ghost town. It's a ghost town.
It's bad enough we're fishing the day after a cold front, but the strong winds have turned up the water.
Whenever we get a northeast wind here, it pretty much blows right into the shoreline and tears it up.
The biggest thing with the wind is the wind messes the water up, you know? You get, especially smallmouth. Smallmouth and mud don't mix. I mean, they run away from mud like it's poison.
Post-front, bluebird day, chalky water, no fish, and we're miserable. It's cold and it hurts.
Not only is the fishing tough, the actual fishing bite, but these are tough conditions mentally and physically on the fishermen. It feels like it's 30 below out. I mean, my hands are cold, my face, my feet. I can barely move my fingers. You can't feel stuff. I mean, these are grueling conditions.
You're not catching fish. You know you should be catching fish. It's not happening. You know, your frustration, your concentration, everything goes downhill after that.
Now, a little bit of panic is starting to set in for the first time. You know, and I'm thinking, man, you know, we haven't gotten a bite. There's no sign of life. And until you get that first bite, you've got no clue what to do. So 2 hours in, we're pretty much clueless.
Before we give up on the lake, we decide to fish one more place, Navy Pier. It's a large structure that juts out into the lake. It's now used for entertainment.
We get a lot of people from out of town to go to Navy Pier just for the beautiful view that you get.
The water is clear here, a good sign, and it's a bit warmer. The pilings under the pier should hold fish. We decide to give it 10 minutes. If we don't get a bite, we're giving up on the smallmouth.
I didn't know that there were fish in Chicago. Goldfish, maybe?
John Milio and I are halfway through the day without a bite. We don't have a clue how to catch them. We don't have much time to figure it out. You've got to find fish fast.
We're in about 8 feet of water. The water's a lot cleaner now.
We're fishing at Navy Pier, located along the lakefront on the near north side of Chicago. The pilings that support the structure are great structure for smallmouth.
It's almost a natural overhang.
It's got everything. It's got the wood, it's got the depth, it's got the rock. For the first time all day, I look down at the graph and I start to see some flickers of bait fish. I start to see a little life, so I'm getting excited.
John and I are fishing jigs under the pier. We cast at the inner pilings and the outer pilings. We keep breaking off. It's frustrating to have to constantly retie. Time is ticking away, and I'm afraid we're going to get skunked because I made a bad decision to fish the lake instead of the river.
We're here 20 minutes now, and nothing happens, but you could feel, you know, something's gonna happen.
Dragging that jig along the bottom, and as soon as it comes past one of the pilings, I feel boom. And there it goes, the first bite of the day. I set the hook, and I'm fighting it, and there it comes.
There we go. Look at that.
After that, it's vintage Iaconelli.
Yeah. Ain't no problem. No problem. 40-degree water temperature. Ain't no problem.
I had a real kind of little hidden fear that I was going to goose egg. I was going to skunk.
Beauty.
3.5 pounder.
Beauty.
Number one. Plenty of time left.
Getting that zero, getting that goose egg out of the way was a good thing.
I'm retying as quick as I can, and I look up and see a police boat behind us waving us over.
Hey, John, come here. All right.
And at first I'm thinking, oh no, we're going to get kicked off by the police. And then I forgot, oh, you know what? John's a cop.
The spot we're fishing at Navy Pier is right next to the city's water filtration plant, a potential target for terrorists.
I mean, this is something we have to protect, and we at the Chicago Police Department take this serious. So it was a good thing.
My adrenaline's still pumping. I'm still shaking from that first fish, and now I kind of feel like I know what I need to do. And almost immediately, I get another bite. The line breaks. He runs me right into a piling.
Zebra mussels, it could be a good problem, it could be a bad one. The good part is it cleans the water. The bad part, you nick your line, you're gonna lose fish.
And I know what happened. It's those darn zebra mussels. It's the kiss of death, you know? It's that necessary evil.
I hooked that fish, and he took me right into a piling, and it broke off on a zebra mussel.
I pitch underneath Navy Pier, and I'm dragging my jig out, and I slammed it.
That's it. Take your time.
It was a fish.
Get him out of them zebra mussels. That's a big one. Oh, it's a big one. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Get that fish in this boat. Come on. Come on. Put that in the boat. Get him in here. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, God, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Mike's going crazy. So now you can see after he lost that one, this boosted him up.
That's a chunk, too. That's 3.5 pounder. 3.5 pounder. And I'm excited, I'm pumped up, and immediately I see him squirting this juice on his bait.
I call it garlic sauce.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea what this stuff is. It could be hairspray for all I know.
And I figure, you know what? Use it to mask the human scent on the lures.
He's got confidence in it. He caught a fish. I put my jig back there. You know what? Give me some of that juice.
To me, it was like, hey, you got 2 Dagos in the boat. They're gonna love the smell of garlic.
We keep flipping the pilings and we keep breaking off. The zebra mussels are destroying our line. You can see those frays in the line right there. That's from it hitting the zebra mussels, you know? I need to retire.
I pitch under there, and something feels weird. And I go to set the hook, and my line breaks.
Right next to a piling?
Yeah.
This is like a Russian roulette for bass fishing here.
Oh, sure.
That's the second one we broke off. That should be 4 fish in a boat.
So I guess I was a victim of the zebra mussel.
I'm looking at my line. I got a little bad spot in it. I take the time out to retie. Line's great.
We're going down Navy Pier now. We're doing our west direction here, and we're coming up to our sweet spot.
I pitch in there. There he goes. Oh, God.
I know he's got a good fish on.
Don't you come off.
I'm fighting him.
Oh, God.
He's going crazy.
Oh, God.
Got him away from the zebra mussels.
Don't you come off.
He's actually talking to this fish that's in the water. And
He gets right near the boat. I go to swing him, and snap! And snap! The line breaks.
Oh, no!
and it was like Mount Iaconelli. Rods are flying. He's pissed. I'm staying in the back of the boat. I'm glad we had 19 feet between us. He's a little guy. I'm a big guy, but I still don't want to go up there.
Tried to swing him. That was dumb. Zebra mussels damaged the line. I tried to swing him. Can't fathom why this line broke. I just retied. Can't do that when it's this tough, man. God, why did I do that? Dumb. All I've been talking about for the last half hour was how these zebra mussels are cutting my line up. And I get a 3.5 pounder on. What do I try to do? I try to swing them. Genius. Genius move right there. Tell me where to catch a bass in Chicago.
Where to catch a what?
A bass.
A bass?
John Milio and I are having a tough day of fishing in Chicago. We caught 2 big smallmouth, but I lost the big one and my confidence is shot. Oh, no! God, man. I just cannot believe I did that. It was a huge mistake on my part, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? Just settle down, put it behind you. You're going to have another opportunity.
He's got to overcome this problem. He's got to get back into his groove.
Give me another chance. I swear I will not mess it up. I promise. The wind is picking up, and it's making it difficult to fish slow. It's hard with this wind now. Getting blown through here real fast.
The pressure's starting to build. If we make a move, we're going to have to make it now.
It's do or die. We've got to make the run into the river. We make our way through the locks that separate Lake Michigan from the Chicago River. The river forms a Y and runs through the center of downtown Chicago. This is John's city. These are his streets. He's a Chicago police officer.
I've worked the streets of Chicago for 18 years. I've dealt with a lot of gang members, drug dealers.
8 hours after Katrina hit New Orleans, John and about 25 other SWAT officers had their gear packed and were headed south to help the people of New Orleans.
We spent 16 days rescuing people from the houses. Then it became more that we had to go out and recover the deceased. You go there, you do your best.
We idle past the towering high-rises.
Where else can you go and have all these buildings around you and still catch fish?
You are in the center of a big, huge metropolitan city, and you're there to catch bass. That's pretty awesome.
I'm pitching my jig right up to the side of the seawall and just letting it fall straight down. I can feel the pressure. It's imperative that we get one in here shortly.
And I throw that jig to that corner, and I'm working it, and all of a sudden, dun, dun, and I thought, is it? And it was. And I set the hook, fight the fish, the keeper largemouth. This is what is amazing. You're talking about water temperature in the 40s, cold front, worst possible conditions, and you still come out and catch bass. That's urban fishing right there. Even though this isn't the first bite of the day, this is our first river bite. So automatically we're thinking this could be the first piece of the puzzle.
Now we start fishing down the seawall. Vertical fishing, and nothing's happening.
But I'm thinking about where that fish bit. It bit in the corner of a wall near a bridge. And now my wheels start turning. This is probably a piece of the puzzle.
You know, and then all of a sudden, Mike's making a beeline for another corner.
If this is a pattern, there's gonna be a fish in that corner. Flip that thing over there, goes right into the corner. There's the classic bite. I set the hook, oh my God. I fall in the back of the boat. I fall down the boat.
It just disappears. I mean, all I see is this rod up in the air.
I mean, it's happening. It's magic. It's really starting to click. This is what you dream about when you find a pattern in the last hour of the day and everything's clicking. It's just like magic, and it's happening.
You know that we might have hit the mother lode. You know, they're in them corners.
Bass are bass are bass. Fish relate the same way no matter where you're at, and in this city environment, this pattern is corners.
Breathe in, brother. There you go. That's even better.
I pitch to it, and I get bit.
Yeah! That's a better one. That's a good one. Get him in here.
We feel like we're on a roll.
Yeah!
There we go, brother.
Now we're on top of the world. We've got enough time. We're going to turn it around.
Corners, man.
Where do I find bass in Chicago? Gourmet restaurants. I didn't think of fishing for bass in Chicago.
This is Mike. Check out my book, Fishing on the Edge, and you'll learn why I never give up. For more information on clothing, gear, and equipment used on the show, go to MikeIaconelli.com.
I'm one fish away. John's a couple fish away. We're within sight.
We bolt to the next corner. 2 anglers trying to catch limits, fishing in a busy city. The L passes overhead. People on the bridges stop to watch, and tour boats go by. This is great!
Come on, right here. Eat it. And I throw that jig by that piling, and it sinks down. It's a little bit deeper water, and I'm fishing it, and there goes my line. I set the hook. It's a good one, too.
Good one, big smallmouth!
I think it was a combination of me being pumped up and my excitement. I flew back, I knocked the camera guy over, I knocked his contact lens out. I don't know how either of us didn't break a bone on that thing.
Don't you come off of there! Yeah!
I mean, the minute that that thing gets inside the boat, I let out a scream.
Yeah!
God, look at that. Look at that. I mean, this is just the epitome of what you come to cities to fish for. Smallmouth bass, Chicago River, within the city limits, and that's my limit! Yeah! Woo!
A tour boat goes by. I hold the fish up for everyone to see, and then put it in the live well. We are fishing hard and fighting the clock.
And we are running corners like a mad person. We're just hitting everyone.
Very next corner we get to, John set the hook. Here he goes. He's fighting it, swings it on board. Here's another keeper for John. We know that we're going to do this.
Corner again.
I look at my watch. We're down to about 2 minutes of fishing. We get to the next corner. I throw in there. I get a bite. Oh God, there's another one. I put that thing in.
Talk about down to the wire. We got 1 minute left.
I look back and all of a sudden John goes, whoop, and he pops another one.
Another one! We start time! It's a good one! A little bit of boat! There we go!
That's it.
Yeah!
I put 6 fish in the live well, John 4. We end up with 10 fish, but only one limit.
I missed my limit by 1, but as far as I'm concerned, I caught the biggest fish. I had Iaconelli in the boat. Can't get better than that.
We're running out of daylight, so we start pulling the fish from the live well.
Bass like that. I mean, is that amazing? Beautiful largemouth.
Where else do you go and do this, huh?
We had our own little, I don't know, Bassmaster Classic, I guess. We had everybody sitting there cheering us on. You know, in downtown Chicago.
I mean, look at that. It's like the Jetsons.
Perfect.
We took a day that was cold, nasty. We took impossible conditions. We went into a city, downtown Chicago, and we caught fish, and that was awesome.